Africa Live, a channel that brings you insights of African politics. I'm back again. Today, I decided to come on live for us to address some issues. I was surfing through my Facebook page and I came across an interesting article. Very interesting article, and it reads EU expresses concern over deteriorating security situation in Burkina Faso. Those who don't know Burkina Faso is in the western side of Africa, the West African community. So EU has expressed concerns over deteriorating security situation in Burkina Faso. Very interesting article. So I want to read some portion of this article for us to discuss, because so let me read it quick for us to dive deep into this article. Very interesting. It said the European Union expresses deep concern on Wednesday over the deteriorating security situation in West Africa, a Western African country of Burkina Faso, following a recent large-scale terrorist attack. The concerns were raised days after hundreds of people, mainly civilians, were killed in Basalogo in the country's north-central region last weekend. An official toll indicates that nearly 200 people, including civilians and members of security force, were reportedly killed in attack and about 300 people wounded. So the European Union has expressed concerns over deteriorating security situation in Burkina Faso. Last year, when there was a coup in Niger, I came here to raise some concerns concerning what is happening in Niger, and also talked about what the interesting twist that will come after this coup. Now, Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger has formed an alliance that will help them talk about, for them to discuss, or for them to merge together to talk about economic situation in the countries. And if those who knows that Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger now ruled by military leaders who all came to power through coup. Now, when the coup happens last year, I signaled our leaders that we must be very careful how we deal with these Western countries. Initially, they brought in France foreign minister to Nigeria to convince ECOWAS. They brought in France foreign minister to convince ECOWAS to step in to convince the Burkina Faso, the Mali, and the Niger alliance to rejoin the ECOWAS. Because after Niger had coup, Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali had coup, they decided to stay away from the ECOWAS. But because they realized that ECOWAS is being manipulated by Western countries, and for them to be involved in ECOWAS is committing suicide. So they decided to form their own alliance and stay back and make sure they build their own alliance and form a strong team that can help them develop their countries. But ECOWAS was insisting that whatever happened, they have to join ECOWAS back. But they didn't do that. They decided to go their way. They decided to stay away from Western countries. They brought in, especially Burkina Faso brought in some Russian militaries to come and protect their borders for them. And the interesting part is, I raised an issue that all these things that is happening, these three countries have to be very careful, and they have to toil carefully, because the Western countries whom Niger were calling for their military base there to be closed down and sacked from their countries will later go and create or bribe the same people's their rebellions to fight against them. They are going to create conflict in these regions, and later when they create this conflict in these regions, it's going to help the Western countries like NATO or all these Western country powers to step in to say that because of the insecurity in the region, they are going to protect or they are going to fight against the insurgents that are in the country, and it will help them and bring their military back to the Burkina Faso, to the Mali, and to the Niger territory. And this is also going to allow them to steal the resources which they were already stealing before the military leaders came and take over. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. Last year, I raised this topic that Ibrahim Traore and I think the Niger president have to be very careful, because this whole thing is a game of chess. This whole political issues in Africa is a game of chess. Now, they wanted to use the ECOWAS to convince Burkina Faso to give up power to a civilian. They wanted to use ECOWAS to convince the Niger president to give out power to civilian, because only the civilians that the Western countries can manipulate. Only the civilians that the Western countries can manipulate. That is what exactly is happening. So when it comes to these cool leaders, it becomes difficult for the Western countries to manipulate. So they were convincing ECOWAS to convince these three countries to come back and join the ECOWAS. And they know if you join the ECOWAS, there are rules that has been set for them by Western countries. You are going to be under that umbrella, and it's also going to affect you. So these three countries decided not to join, form their alliance, because they need development for their countries. And I want that this situation, if they is not managed well, these people are going to sponsor insurgents. They are going to sponsor a conflict in these countries. And when that happens, these Western countries are going to come in that the insecurity is too much, so they have to come and protect their territories, or they have to come and protect all these things, and they will come and invade all these countries, and they will bring back their military base, and at the end of the day, the looting goes on. That is what is going to happen. So when I saw the article, it was an interesting, and I find it very funny, because the European Union president brought out this statement that he felt that the insecurity in Burkina Faso is too much, and whilst they are bringing all these complaints, it means they want to find a way of bringing in their military. I remember somewhere last year when the France foreign minister came to Nigeria, he told the Nigerian president, which is Tinubu, that if they want support from France, especially France military, to help them take over Niger, they can help them. And a lot of Africans got angry, because it was a way of inciting conflict in the region. So many Africans were complaining. And today, you see how things are going. And if we are not careful, they are going to create a whole lot of conflict in the region. And when they create this conflict, they will create this conflict, and at the end of the day, they will use that conflict to invade these countries in the name of they are coming to save the situation. That has been the tricks of Western countries. That has been the whole tricks of Western country. It happens in Niger, and it has happened in a lot of countries. So now we know the tricks. Today, Niger, what do we call it? Today, Libya, which was one of the most successful or developed countries in Africa, has now gone down the drain. So all these tricks that the foreign countries normally play on Africans, now we are realizing it. Now we are also strategizing ourselves, because it's becoming an interesting ball game in Africa. Now, the African leaders, especially the democratic leaders we have in Africa, has been very disappointing, because at the end of the day, we realize they are the Western countries' puppets. So the leaders who are currently operating in all these three countries, Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso, has been toying in different directions. They have been doing things, they have been implementing policies that are benefiting the people of that country. And that is what Africans need at the moment. We need leaders, we need patriotic leaders. For the previous lives I've done, I've always calling for patriotic leaders. We need patriotic leaders who are going to put in place Africa system for us to also enjoy the sweat of our forefathers. Now, anyone who want to contribute through comments, I will read the comment. So everything you'll be contributing here, I'll be reading it. So T'Challa, it's amazing how they think that they should have any opinion about Africa. That is true. In Africa, I don't know what is happening in Africa, but whatever happens in Africa, it seems they have opinion. They want to be the one to direct how Africa systems go. But since the Ukraine and Russia war started, I haven't really seen a lot. Since the Ukraine and the Russian war started, I haven't seen a whole lot of all these Western countries issuing warnings to Russia. But when something happens in Accra, in Africa, they just rush and come and share their thoughts, or they come and share their opinions. So let me also read Census 2000. They want to own everything. Those behind the till, of course. Yes, they want to own everything. They want to own all the resources in Africa. They want to own all the resources in all other African countries that produce apps. Like recently, I saw them battling with TikTok. They want to own TikTok. They want to control everything in the world. And I'm talking about the Western countries. They want to control everything on this planet so that they can dictate how every continent moves. They can dictate how we survive. They can dictate how we perish. That is what I have realized. So let me also read No BS top 5 comparables. Okay, try explaining to Nanado. Yes, that man is also another puppet, which we all know. So, Mr. Kwabena Mensah, I do agree with all the points you are making. Thank you. Thank you very much for agreeing with me. And those who also don't agree with me, they can also share their comments for me to talk about it. I mean, this article, I'm talking about an article I read this morning about how the European Union president is telling Burkina Faso that they are very concerned about the insecurity in Burkina Faso. And that is one funny comment. And I said, I've done this content when Niger was taken over by the military leader. I did comment that they have to secure themselves. They have to protect themselves, because the Western countries are going to sponsor insurgents, they are going to sponsor conflict. And when they sponsor all this conflict, they are going to use this sponsoring conflict to make sure that, to complain about how insecurity is becoming norm in the West African states, and they are going to use that opportunity to invade the country and bring their military base. We all know that because of the lithium, which France was benefiting, because of all these resources, the Western countries were benefiting. So when the military leader took place and he was sacking the France military, he was sacking the US military, they were not happy. So they are going to use every excuse, they are going to use every plan to make sure that they create conflict in these regions for them to bring back the military to protect what they have lost, which is the what do we call it, the resources, the resources. So let me also read Gerald Hoggard. Gerald Hoggard. Russia not having that plus, you have, okay. Russia not having that plus, you have weapons. Okay, I don't really get it. Sorry, I don't really get it, but I think I wish you can rewrite it for me to read. So, Lonky Mashele, African leaders, please open your eyes, please. Enough is enough. That's true. That's true. Now the African leaders, they have to open their mind, their eyes. And what the situation is, the African youth are really now awake. We are awake. We are awake. The African youth are now awake. And if things are going to continue like this, and you those who are following African politics will witness what happens in Kenya and what happened in Nigeria recently. African leaders should wake up, because the age of the timidity, the age of being stupid, the age of following everything on point has now come to an end. Now what we are now doing is, we want accountability, we want patriotic to lead us, we want business friendly environment to do our business, we also want development. So if you still think it's all about coming to power and stealing resources and filling your bank account and your pocket and leaving the masses, then there's a problem. There's a problem, because the day of the reckoning is coming. The day of the reckoning is coming, because how things are going, few years or from now till the maybe 2 years or 3 years to come, things are going to change drastically. Things are going to change drastically. So the African youth don't want to listen or take advice from the IMF. They don't want to take advice from the West, the World Bank. They don't want to take advice from European Union. The African youth want leaders that are bold. The African youth want leaders that are ready to serve their country, to bring development. This thing should have been easily achieved if Africa should have been united. This thing should have been easily achieved if Africa should have been united. But now that we are not united, we still have to find a strategy to beat the system, because we have had enough of what is happening in Africa. So let me read more comments. So no BS top 5 comparable. It's called false flag operation. Thank you. And Comrade Knight, how come you don't read a Jamaican's comment? I know I don't have an African name, but I am of the African diaspora. Sorry, then I don't really know who is Jamaica and who is not a Jamaica. Sorry for that. But if you have ever written to my live and I haven't read, then I'm sorry about that. But I love Jamaicans. Majority of my viewers are from Jamaica, and Ghana and Jamaica, we are brothers. So I maybe if I haven't read about Jamaica, I haven't read Jamaican's comments, then it means maybe it skipped me. But I'm always reading comment that people contribute here. So, Mr. Comrade Knight, I'm sorry for that. If I haven't read, you ever wrote a comment and I haven't read it, then I'm sorry about that. Keep writing, I'll be reading. So another comment, Spinozin 6.1. Okay, don't take bribes. Care for your community. Raise your children with good values. To that may become the leaders of justice. That is very true. That is very true. That's the principles of building a great nation. That's the one of the, and these things should have been taught in schools. Principles and all these things should have been taught in schools. But here, the education system that was set by the colonizers has not allowed us practicing things that will help build our own community. We are just following the blueprint of what the colonial masters left behind. It's only few Africans that are their eyes are open or awake or has been liberated for us to be talking about issues like this. These issues I'm talking about, I can tell you a lot of people in African continent don't agree with me. We have been brainwashed to worship the white man. We have been brainwashed to make sure that whatever an European say is the final. That is how we have been brainwashed. Only few people's eyes has opened. Only few people has been liberated to talk about the situation I'm talking about. When you go to YouTube and you are looking for maybe Ghanaians who does Pan-Africanism, you are not going to get more than 10. All of them are into different content, but only few of us who are pushing the agenda of Pan-Africanism, only few of us who are willing to push this agenda for the world to see it. So, let me read this comment. Sorry, Mr. Black Magic. He said, Comrade Knight, what you talking about? Africa love Jamaicans. Come on now. Yeah, we are one love. Africans, we love Jamaicans. We are one people. And I know I heard the Maroons of Jamaica even come from Ghana. The Maroons from Jamaica come from Ghana. I've read a lot about Jamaicans and we love them. Most of even my viewers are from the African Americans. We are all one. We are all one. Majority of people who watch me are Africans, African Americans, Jamaicans, all the people in Caribbeans watch my content. So as I was saying, we need leaders that will help build this continent. That is why we have been calling diasporans to come back home, to help build a system that will help us take over. There is one issue I have with my own country people. We think for the only way to save ourselves from all this mess happening in Africa is to run away. That is what we think. That the only way to save ourselves from situations we find ourselves here is to run away to Europe, is to run away to America. But that's not how it works. It's about time we liberate ourselves and think, because you can't be a citizen of a country, and when that country is being mismanaged by all these corrupt leaders, you just pack your bag and run away. And where you are going, when you go, the funny thing is, you are going to just do a manual jobs. You are going to do jobs that will only put food in your mouth. It won't help you to build wealth. It won't help you to build properties. You are just going to do a manual jobs. It's about time. The opportunities in Ghana is huge. Opportunities in any African country is huge. Here, we are now developing. Africa is now developing. So the opportunity in Africa is huge. Our roads hasn't been being constructed. Product, we are always importing products from China. We are always importing products from America. We are always importing product. So the opportunity in Africa is big. So if you come to Africa and you get to the right people, we consume. Africa consumed foreign products. Africa consumed for everything foreign. So if we are able to build our own thing, just that we know that the Western countries has also make it possible for our leaders to ignore development or ignore building factories, ignore building industries that will produce products that we can consume here. They have even been able to convince our leaders to ignore consuming crops that will feed us, and we are rather planting crops that we only export. So we end up getting hungry. In Ghana, we pride ourselves that we are one of the biggest cocoa exporters. Cocoa exporters we can't consume, but we are here importing onions, we are here importing tomatoes, we are here importing all these foods that we consume. But the funny thing is, we have land, we have fertile lands here that can plant the same thing. And that has been the problem. That has been the African problem. In Africa, if you want to travel to any African country, it's more difficult to travel to any African country than to travel to Europe. They have been able to make things impossible to trade among ourselves, to link ourselves. They have made things impossible for us. So it's up to us to come together and restructure our system, replan our continent for us to start moving. We can't be talking always. We can't just be talking, complaining. We have to take action. We have to take action. So let me read about boom clash. We don't have to come back home. We need to build together in unity as we have always done. We are the original travelers. When we do that, there will be no visa required to travel across the global diaspora. Yeah, that is, you have a point there. You have a point there. Just that we want to build this. We want to build the continent. We want to build the continent, and the opportunities in Africa is more than any opportunities you can find out there. The opportunities in Africa is more than any opportunity you find out there, because at the end of the day, all these Western countries, they have already developed. They have their systems in place. So it's going to be very difficult. It's going to be very difficult to penetrate through your talent, to penetrate through your invention, to penetrate through a whole lot of things. But in Africa, we are now developing. We have fertile lands. We have land that has not been touched. We have what do we call it? Innovations that has not been touched. What we need is funds. So we can do things among ourselves. We can do things among ourselves. And we are going to, and one thing that I'll pride myself with is if Africa should have started building railways. We have to start building railways to link one country to another country, so that traveling to go and trade in another African country won't be difficult. Imagine there is a train traveling from Ghana to Togo every day. Imagine there is a railway or there is a train traveling from Ghana to Nigeria. All these things should have helped us to trade among ourselves. And if we are able to trade among ourselves, what will happen? Our economy will be booming. The manner talented Africans are running to Europe to just go and do manual jobs. The manner talented and professional Africans are running to Africa just to trade and do manual job is very sad. It's very sad. It's very sad. So boom clash. Build and trade together Africa is the foundation of our motherland. Yeah, thank you. That's true. Yeah, Black Magic, he said 22 watching but only 14 likes. Why now? You know, good. Oh, you know, yeah. Please, those who are watching, you should like it and you should share it. You should share it so that it will get to a lot of people. That is what will help us build a strong community. You should share it. You should share it on your page for it to get to a lot of people, so that YouTube will use that the sharing and all this to recommend to others. The problem is on YouTube now, their algorithm has changed. If you are watching and you don't share it or you don't like it, it means that the people who are the content is not good, so they are not even going to recommend it, or they are not going to share it among our others. Yeah, Black Magic, thanks for alerting me on that, and I know they are going to like it, and I've seen it going up. Thanks for doing that. So let Africa, let's come together and let's build something strong, because at the end of the day, we have been talking. We have been talking. The talking is very necessary, because at the end of the day, majority of Africans, we don't even know much about our own culture. Africans don't know much about our own culture. So far, you can interview a Ghanaian, and a Ghanaian won't know anything about a Kenyan. You can interview someone from Gambia, and he won't know anything about Ghana. That is what, but we know everything about Europe. We know everything about America. We sing their songs. We practice their culture. But ask another African about another African country, we are just blank on ourselves. And all these things is having effect on ourselves. We have, instead of us coming together and do things together, we rather decide to do things with Europeans than ourselves. So let me read Carib Guy 757. For train connection to work, we need security. Yes, we have to build all that step by step. We really need security. We need security. Yes, a whole lot of Africa that we face a lot of insecurity in Africa. We face a lot of insecurity in Africa, and all these things will be done if we are going to be open to other countries. If we are able to open ourselves to other countries, we are going to know ourselves, and all these things will bridge. One thing I have realized is for you to be enlightened on situation, or for you to be able to know a lot about situations, you need to mingle with other people for you to be abreast, or for you to be enlightened about different culture. And with us mingle together, we are going to understand our culture and a whole lot. So let me read okay, no BS top 5 comparables. B. Kenya is one of our ancestral land. Exactly. Kenya is one of our ancestral land. Yeah, I have lived in Kenya. I live in Kenya. I was staying in Kenya. I schooled in Kenya, and it's one of the beautiful places anyone should visit. I was in Kenya from 2006 to 2010, and I really enjoyed. That's where I schooled. All this my media thing I learned from Kenya. So Kenya is my second country, so I know Kenya. Kenya is a very beautiful place, and I also recommend Kenya to most of African Americans who also want to travel to Africa. It's a beautiful country. It's well-developed country, and if you go there, you are not going to regret. So, Spinozin, does the average Ghanaian knows about Julius Malema? Nope. 90% won't know about Julius Malema, and I'm telling you fact. 90% won't know about Julius Malema, because we focus our energy in Europe. We focus our energy in America. We learn about American culture. We learn about European culture. It's not bad to know other culture, but for us to ignore our own people. We don't know anything about Kenya. Ghanaians don't know anything about Kenya. Kenya Pan-Africanist. Ghanaians don't know anything about South African Pan-Africanist. But we will know everything about American culture, and that is questionable. That is questionable. Let me read also about Boom Clash. You say trains, trade school, more factories and innovation. Africans have all the mineral times to make finished product and fun. The youth, indeed, we need strong security and and prideful, honorable people. That's true. That's exactly what we need. We need prideful, honorable people. We need people who are ready to build the system. We need people who are ready to work for the continent. We need people like Kwame Nkrumah. We need people like Patrice Lumumba. We need people like Thomas Sankara. We need people like what we call Sekou Toure. Those who were ready to put their life in the line. They are the people we need. They are the people who can help us to build this system. We can't always be relying on Western countries. Now, any leader that comes in, all the leaders who are leading all these African countries, majority plans is just to come to power and rely on loans from IMF, rely on loans from World Bank. Even now, they have no ideas, and they have started putting up policies that says when they come to power, they are going to help some citizens to travel and go and work at other countries so that they will bring money. They can't create jobs anymore. Our leaders has accepted they can't create jobs. They have to just allow their citizens to travel out there before they can go and make money for them to take their percentage to come and develop. I don't know what the plan is, but I was thinking Africa is now is a virgin continent. Africa is a virgin continent, and we have all the opportunities to make here great, but it seems we can't think outside the box. Our leaders we have right now, the puppets who are in power, can't think outside the box, and that is a bit troubling for Africans. Now, when you come to Ghana, majority of the youth dreams they goes to church to just pray for them to get visas to travel. Look at this mentality. Majority, their dreams on this earth is to travel to Europe to go and do mania jobs. How on earth can someone jubilate? Someone goes to church to pray to be given visa to go and do a mania job, to go and clean old ladies, to go and brush horse teeth, to go and clean cow's poop, and he calls that a blessing that God, the person will be asking from God to bless him with that opportunity to travel out there to do all these dirty jobs. That is why I can't really think far. One of Ghanaian movie star is called Ewen. He will say, I can't think far. Mr. I think Miss Angel Maria, Patrick Ewen is a great choice. Patrick Ewen, I have to find him. Who is Patrick Ewen? And if I may know which country he comes from. Patrick Ewen is a great choice. It's a great choice. Majority of Africans are now traveling. Majority of Africans are now running away to Europe. And they are not just running away. They pray. They go to church and pray that God should bless them for them to travel to Europe to go and do dirty jobs. You see that mentality? This is mentality that need liberation. This is mentality that need liberation. It's very sad. It's very sad. So let me read No BS Top 5 Comparable B. New mandate to become an African leaders moving forward must be brave hearts, balls, and brains. That is true. With the systems, my problem is with the systems we are practicing in Africa too, I have issue with this whole democratic system we are practicing in Africa. I have issue with. It has been compromised. The democratic systems we have been practicing has been compromised. Now, the democratic system here in Africa has been presented to the elites. So if you don't have money, if you don't have, if you don't, you are not, you don't join some class of people, you are not going to be a leader. And that class, if you join them and they endorse you to, is in a form of corrupt class of people who has endorsed you. So when you go top there, you can't do anything. That is also our problem. Let me read about Luis Castillo. So all this, or everyone who will be writing comments, I will be reading it. Everyone who writes comments, I'll be reading it. So Mr. Luis Castillo, I'm born and raised in Honduras. Now I live in United States. I know about Traore from Burkina Faso, about Goita from Mali, and Tichani from Niger, Julius Malema, Professor Lumumba, and many more. That is perfect. That is perfect. I'm happy you are following an African politics. But in Africa here, I can tell you the African themselves, majority don't know all these people whom you have mentioned. We have been programmed not to follow our own current affairs. We would rather follow, you rather be going to Ghana television and you'll be seeing them talking about Kamala Harris and Trump and all these things. They will project the US election like it is happening in Africa. But whatever happening in Burkina Faso, whatever happening in Niger, whatever happening in Mali, they are not interested in it. And one funny thing is, I'm telling you this, one funny thing is, in the Africans in diaspora, the Africans in diaspora has the will to help build Africa. They have been learning a whole lot of African politics. They have been pioneers of Pan-Africans than the Africans in Africa. That is the fact. The Africans in diaspora are more willing to come together to help build Africa than Africans in Africa. The Africans in Africa dreams is to run away to Europe. The Africans in Africa's dreams is to just go and live in Europe and leave African alone. But those who have rather experienced the Western culture and have realized that it's not good for them and it's better for them to come and build Africa and stay here because we have good weather, we have a peaceful environment. Me, where I am in Ghana, one of the peaceful countries in the world. But the people here, everyone want to run away to see Europe because for them, when they think of development, they think development is all about buildings, skyscrapers. They don't also function in peace. They don't function in their safety. They don't function in the food they eat. Majority in Ghana, you are going to get organic food. You are going to get organic fruits. Everything you are going to eat here is organic. But out there, you go there and you'll be eating food that is going to give you a whole lot of sickness. But I don't know. They want to run away to Europe. They want to run away just to seek for greener pasture. Now, don't ever talk to an African that he can make it in Africa. It's a taboo. You can be shot. If you talk to an African that he can make it in Africa, it's an insult. Now, try to project Africa in a positive light. If you project Africa in a positive light, we have some Africans who will get angry. We can't just blackwash. I hope I'm using the right English. We can't just blackwash our everything about Africa and just be praising Europeans and all this, and then at the end of the day, When you go there, you go and face racism. When you go there, you are going to face discrimination. So home sweet home. Me, I don't dream of traveling to work in any other country. I dream that I can make it here, and I can also contribute to my quota so that in future my name can also be mentioned, that this guy, the graft also came, and this is what he was able to achieve for the country or for the continent Africa. Yes, it's about time we fight, we liberate. One thing Africans need at the moment is liberation. Majority, the way we think, the way we do our things is affecting the continent. It's affecting the continent. Let me read about Boom Crash 101. What do you think about Ghana and Sahel uniting in West Africa? Sahel uniting in West Africa, Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali. Yes, with the correct leaders, which if we unite, is going to be one of the best. And already Ghana, Burkina Faso has a very strong ties. Ghana and Mali. You know, Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah and Sekou Toure was also a very good combination or collaborators who were pioneering the Pan-African spirit. Ghana and Guinea was very close. So most of African countries, we are very close, but depending on the leaders whom we have can incite problems, because recently a lot of people got angry at the Ghana president because he went to all the way to United States to snitch on the Burkina Faso leader Ibrahim Traore. A lot of people got angry on that particular. So depending on the leader, most of the leaders are puppets. Most of the leaders currently Ghana is having have been puppets. Since our fourth republic, all the leaders that we are having in Ghana has been puppets. They put, how should I put it? They entrust their wealth, they entrust their minerals, their resources in the hands of US. When they come here, they come and make promises, give you some couple of dollars, and we decide to give all our resources to them. That has been our problems. Since the Fourth Republic, the leaders we have had in Ghana, we can't write home about all of them because we are not getting the leaders like Kwame Nkrumah. We are not getting all these great leaders again. The leaders whom we are having now are all paying homage to the United States. I know the US now even have a military base in Ghana, and that has been our problem. It is happening in Kenya, the same thing. It is happening in most of the African countries. Until we have leader who will fight for the continent, we have patriotic leader, we have leaders who will fight for the continent of Africa, we are going to crawl. But one thing that currently majority of Pan-African channels on YouTube that they are doing is to liberate Africans, and that has been the way forward. At the moment, we have to liberate ourselves because the mentality, the colonial legacy, let me put it, the colonial legacies they left behind is really affecting us. Our educational systems, our culture, the religion, the religion they left us has really brainwashed us. So we need to liberate ourselves. The people we have to change our mindset, the way we think, the way we see things. We have to change that mindset before we can progress. We have to change our mindset before we progress, because it's becoming difficult to penetrate through the ordinary African. It's becoming difficult to convince ordinary African that with hard work and with dedication, he can make it in Africa. It has become very difficult. It has become really, really difficult. I also want to ask anyone who want to also give super thanks or sticker, and I also have what do we call it? You can also join my membership, my YouTube membership platform. You can join it by going to my membership. You can add yourselves, and those who also want to give super thanks stickers, please, I'll appreciate it. It all helps to support the good cause so that we can bring you more content. We can bring you more content. So let me read about Caribbean guy. I don't know if that's correct. Africa need to stop exporting their raw materials. We need to refine and sell the end product. Currently, we are exporting, then buying back the finished product. That is true. Let me tell you a story. When Ghana was not having oil, we used to have thermal oil refinery, which used to refine our crude oil. But when Ghana find oil, they were able to collapse the refined oil and make sure they send the raw materials out there. That is the puppet controllers we are talking about. We decided to destroy or to close down our own refined company and now be exporting the raw materials for them to refine it out there. You see the problems we are having, the leaders, the type of leaders we have right now. All of them are just in for the money. All of them are just in to fill their, some African leaders even create a light out. They decide to create a light load shedding so that they can import in generators to sell for the citizens. They come, they create electricity problems, and they import in generator to sell, to do business with the problem. That is how some wicked African leaders we have. We have gold. We don't refine it. We don't have refined. We don't have any. Ghana has been producing gold for the last 50 years, but we don't even have a single refined company. We are always giving them the raw materials. We can't refine our cocoa. We can't refine our oil. We don't refine anything in Ghana. After all this, all these resources we have in Ghana, we can't refine it. It's a very sad situation. It's a very sad situation we have. But whatever happens, I know before I will leave this world, there will be a total liberation. There will be leaders that will be seeking for development. There will be leaders that won't be kowtowing to any Western powers. There will be leaders that will not go for loans before their citizens survive. There will be leaders that will be bold, that will be patriotic. I know that time will come. And when that time comes, we are going to jubilate. So I will, those who haven't subscribed to this channel, please, you can subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification button so that anytime I upload any great content, you will be notified. And you can also join my Telegram group by going to my description box. Some of my long videos, the description box, you click on the Telegram link, it will take you to Uncut Africa Live platform. You can join me there for us to talk about. We are now organizing members so that we discuss about serious issues. Those who also want to contact me personally, you can go to my description or my bio, you can find my main number there, my personal number there, or you can also send me a message on catafricalive@gmail.com. You can send me message for us to discuss about anything that you want us to discuss. We are forming a group. So as I said, you can join us on Telegram. We are now putting up members. We now have over, we are almost heading to 200 members on Telegram. So you can join us on Telegram for us to discuss about the well-being of Africa and the well-being of Africans in diaspora. And I will be coming back here tomorrow too for us to tackle different topics. I really appreciate all of you who are watching me, and I will also ask you to also share these informations or this content that I've been creating. If you share it, then the YouTube people are going to recommend it for a lot of people to know. Some of our content is a little sensitive, so most of the times YouTube don't even recommend because they think maybe we are going too deep, so they don't recommend. So but if you share, they are going to know, okay, people like it, so let's share it to other people. So I want you to help me for us to share this channel. And I want to get to 100K before the year end. Currently I'm in 96, I think 94 point something, and I will ask you people to help me share this channel on your status, on your platforms, so that we can have a lot of people to come and join us to build something great. At the moment, this is the only thing we can add. We can add to the African development. At the moment, we just have to use these platforms to liberate our people, because how things are going, if we don't liberate ourselves, we are going to be in a little trouble. Don't worry, we are tired of being apologetic. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks everyone for joining. I think it's just 3 minutes, then I can 3 minutes for 1 hour. Let me add that 3 minutes. So anyone who have questions, you can ask me. And as I said, you can join my membership, or when you go to my platform, you can join my membership. When you go to, if you also want to gift a sticker or super thanks, you can gift me. As we are still supporting this channel, we are keeping and we are building studio. We are going to do a whole lot of things. We are building a very good studio where we are going to do serious content. We are going to come out with different topics and content and channels for us to discuss about. It's all about Africa. It's all about Africa. You can also subscribe to one of my channel called Africa Links. Africa Links. That is also another channel that we are about to spark for us to share informations that are very good for the development of this continent. So no BS. Stop for okay. Cheers to everyone that is supporting this channel. Let's keep sharing the good news from Africa. Let's keep supporting content creators from Africa. Let's keep trumpeting the voice of Africans so that people will know what we have. We have a whole lot of things. So we will keep sharing. We will keep liberating ourselves. We will keep doing things that will project the continent of Africa. And that is the only thing that can help build this continent. And as I said, the first thing we have to do, if we can go far with this message, is to liberate our people. We have to liberate ourselves. Is Ghana money linked to France economy? Not. Ghana money don't link to France economy, but most of the French-speaking country money were linking to France economy. Countries like Niger, Mali, Ivory Coast, all of them, Togo, they use safer. Ghana use cedis. They have their own. We have our own currency, but other French-speaking countries used to have the French denomination or the French currency. So Ghana money don't link to France, but we are worse off. Our currently our currency is also doing very bad, and we are worse off. Just that doesn't link to any. It doesn't link to France, but we are worse off. So anyone who also have questions, you can ask. Anyone who want to ask questions, you can ask. You see, at the moment, we need strong leaders. We really need strong leaders because currently our currency is performing very poorly because it is performing very poorly because we export too much. Ghana exports too much. The exporting is too much. We export matches, we export toothpick, we export everything. That is why I was saying that there are too much what do we call it, opportunities in Africa because majority of our products are being exported. Majority of our product is being exported. So if you are able to come and set up business to tackle one problem, you are going to be a billionaire. Yeah, that is what has happened. If you are able to tackle one problem, you are going to be a billionaire. Let's say Ghana somehow, once in a while, we face electricity problems. So if you are able to come to Ghana and set up a solar system company, what do we call it? Whatever energy, the natural energy, the solar stuff, you are going to make a whole lot of money because we face these problems. So you tackle, if you choose one problem and you decide to tackle, it's going to send us, you are going to be a billionaire in it because we are exporting everything. We are exporting everything. We have even what do we call it? We have food crops that easily spoiled. We have food crops that easily spoiled. So if you come, you put up a strategy and you are able to address one problem, you are good to go. Say OB32, hello from Texas. Oh wow, wow. This my channel. That to be frank, this my channel is being watched by African Americans and a whole lot of Americans and Caribbeans, and you easily find you hardly find even Ghanaians on my platform. So OB2, is there any question you want to ask before we wrap up? So boom clash 101. It is not exporting, it's exporting without compensation and then importing the finished product at an inflated price. Yeah, that's true. That is perfectly true. We are just consuming only European product. We consume a whole lot of European product, and it seems we are not ready. We are not ready to to manufacture our own products. We just send our raw materials out there and they will refine it and come and sell it back to us. So OB32, no, I will start the live from the beginning to rewatch. Thank you, brother. Okay, thank you. So as I said, so you can rewatch, and any question you want to ask, you leave it there and I'll come and reply. So I think my 1 hour has hit, and so let me thanks all of you for watching. I do appreciate all what the support you have been supporting me. I do appreciate everything you have been doing to this channel, and so I'll ask again that just take the link of the content, any content you think you like, you just take it and go and share on your platform for people to get to know this channel so that we can build everything together. Those who also want to get in direct contact, as I said, you go to my bio or description, you can find my personal number there. You can find my email on catafricalive@gmail.com. We can contact, you can send me WhatsApp through the number, and we can also discuss about the well-being of Africa and Africans in diaspora. I do appreciate all of you for watching. I do appreciate OB32, Boom Crash, Clayton Mills. Thank you. Say preach on, brother. No BS top 5 comparison. Be okay. Comparable. Angel Maria Spinozin. Who again? Luis Castino. All of them. I do appreciate all of you, and thanks for, and Comrade Conrad Knight. Thanks for watching. Lonky Mashele, Gerald Hoggart, Kwabena Mensah. Kwabena Mensah, I know your name is a Ghanaian name, so you are a Ghanaian. And T'Challa, the first comment, T'Challa. I do appreciate all of you. I'll be here tomorrow evening. I'll be here around 9 to come on live for us to address another topic. Thanks to all of you. I'm always your guy, Digraft Amwako. You can also follow me on other social media platforms. I am Digraft. Thanks you all. I do appreciate all of you. Bye.